Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you are well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories. And if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. And let's crack on with today's first story. And just to give you a warning, after we read the title, you may want to skip the story. Please feel free to do so. Timestamps are always down in the description and along the timeline below. Thank you. It's titled, Am I Overreacting? My 23 male boyfriend held me 19 female underwater during a bath to prove a point, and I'm still shaken. I'm 19 female and have been with my boyfriend 23 male for over a year now. We come from different countries and religions, but we've made it work. I have to mention this. My boyfriend loves turning everything into a competition. We both go to the gym and he's always like, who can do this better? Even at home, he's always asking who can cook better, clean faster, you name it. A week ago, we were relaxing in the bathtub together. He asked who I thought could hold the other underwater the longest. I found it weird and just brushed it off as one of his usual questions. Just 2 to 3 minutes later, he got up as if to get out of the bathtub and suddenly pushed me under the water. He kept me under for what felt like more than 20 seconds. When he finally let go, he started laughing. I'm generally healthy, but I have a heart condition that requires daily medication to keep my heart rate normal. Without my meds, my heart rate can go up to 140 to 150 BPM. Even with meds, sudden situations like this can make my heart rate spike to 140 and stay between 110 to 120 for the next few days. He knows this. He brought up what happened today and said he apologized, which he didn't, and that I should get over it. I'm trying. He said he was trying to prove a point that I need to work on myself more. It doesn't make sense to me because he's naturally stronger than me, and no matter how much I work out, I can't always defend myself against everything successfully. I can't talk to my sister or mother about it. They just ask what I was doing in the bathtub with a guy in the first place, and I still don't have friends here. It's only him and me. We've talked about it more than once, and he says if I did this to him, he would have found it funny. I don't know if I just need to loosen up more, but I don't understand how holding me underwater for that long was ever funny in his head. Edit, he's also complaining now about the marks I left on his wrist and arm. Almost faded. I didn't mean to. It was sudden, and I swallowed a bit of water as I was freaking out and just wanted him to let go. I apologized for this, but told him it was a natural reaction to what he did. That is an absolutely terrifying situation and one that OP should be running from immediately. He was literally drowning you and then has the cheek to complain about marks you left on him while you're defending yourself from literally dying. And you mention he's gaslighting you afterwards, claiming he's apologizing but actually not laughing about it immediately after, telling you to get over it, blaming you, saying that you need to work on yourself. Zero accountability, zero remorse. And there's other stuff that's going on that had me raising my eyebrows. The fact that you're isolated, you've got no friends, no family that you can talk to around you. And it just feels to me one of those situations where he's testing the boundaries here. But Hats and Topcoat says, you need to get out immediately. Do not listen to anything he says to you to convince you otherwise. He is dangerous. If there is a universe where what he did could be forgiven as a massive error in judgment, the way he reacted since then, finding about 6 different ways to blame you for being upset, is the opposite of what that would look like. Opie says you're completely right. It's just I've never felt unsafe or uncomfortable around him, and that's why this is so difficult for me, I guess. Tomato says, this is very, very scary. I'm afraid for you. You're still shaken because what he did was violent. There's no other way to define it. He used his greater body mass to restrain you in a dangerous, scary, and potentially life-threatening situation, and found it funny. He's gone far beyond the boundaries of normal competitiveness. The fact that he pushed you to apologize for leaving marks on his arm while he was practically drowning you leads me to believe that 1, he is unable or unwilling to see the true harm of his actions. 2, will do something similarly violent again. 3, will find a way to make your reaction to his violence the bigger problem. Please find a way to remove this man from your life soon, before he escalates and puts you in even greater danger. Opie says I'm afraid too and can't stop thinking about what if he does something like this again. I'm confused because he says he didn't really mean to hurt me and I love him a lot. I know I need to really do something about it, but it's been a week and I still haven't done anything. So it was about a month after this that Opie came in with their update and says, I just wanted to let you know that I'm away and safe. I tried to log in 2 days ago to update but found that my account had been suspended. Maybe I did something wrong while creating it or mentioned some details I wasn't supposed to. But I'm okay now and wanted you to know because I'm really grateful for all the advice and support I received that I wasn't sure I would find anywhere else. If my update is too long, you can just stop here because the rest is just what happened in detail. I'm currently staying with a woman who used to be one of my neighbors before I moved in with him a few months ago. She's the only person I could think of calling for help, and she didn't hesitate to come right away to help me pack some of my things and leave. She also encouraged me to call my family. I called my mum 2 days later. She promised to not tell my siblings or my father. My parents are divorced. I told her everything, and she asked how she could help, which was something I wasn't actually expecting. The main reason I was hesitant to let my family know is because of both my older sister and my father. They always bring up the things people feel ashamed of or bad experiences they've had just to win arguments. As for my ex, he apologized, said he meant nothing by what he did and promised never to do it again. But just 3 days after leaving him, he tricked me into meeting him through one of his friends. She said he packed the rest of my things and asked her to give them back to me. I went to meet her in a public place that I insisted on, and he was with her. We didn't talk because I left right away before I even made it to their table. Since I blocked him the day I left, my neighbor called him and let him know that she has no problem helping me get a restraining order if he ever tries anything. That's all. I'm safe, and I know now that I did the right thing. I'm glad I called her. I found a place with 2 roommates that I'll be moving to next week. Although she said I can stay as long as I want, but she's already done so much for me, and I don't want to feel like I'm taking advantage of her kindness. Thank you again for all the advice. Dramatic humor says to DOP, oh thank God. I've been thinking about you every day since you posted. I'm so glad you trusted your mum and she actually came through. I knew you were scared about that. Keep relying on the people who have proven to be on your side and keep being way overly careful in staying the hell away from him. I'm so happy to hear you're okay. Opie says yeah, I was scared to call my mum, but she was surprisingly understanding and said all she wanted was for me to be safe and come back to her alive. I'm really glad I called my neighbor, even though it was so hard for me. I was literally shaken and cried before calling, but that was actually what pushed me to seek help. Thank you so much. Contribution says, it's crazy. Your friend is a snake and might be missing some info, or he twisted all the story, but I bet she is the one comforting him right now. I only ask you to remain safe, full no contact with him, siblings and others in common. I would also delete or block your profiles. Check your credit, change banks if necessary and other passwords, he might use them in revenge. Make loans. Opie says your friend is a snake and quotes that about twisting the story and then says she is his friend. She and I aren't close enough for me to call her a friend, but she never gave me the impression that she could lie. When she called, I didn't think for a second that she would do something like that. Thank goodness for that, and thank goodness for the neighbor in this situation. Sounds like an absolute legend. You know, him using his friend to lure her out is manipulative as hell and just terrifying behavior on top of what was already terrifying behavior. He knew she blocked him, so he was finding a workaround, and you know, that's already escalation in my opinion. And the friend, whether she was in on it or he manipulated her, it doesn't matter. She was using her as a tool to get OP there, and OP trusted her enough to meet up, and he exploited that. At 19 years old, dealing with this kind of shit is absolutely terrifying, but once again, I'm so glad that OP is out of that situation. But what about you guys? What do you guys make of this one? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Let's move on to another story. Now, our next story comes from a throwaway account, and it says, my 32 female boyfriend, 36 male, deleted my dead brother from my Instagram friends, and he doesn't seem to understand or care that I'm upset. 6 years ago, my twin brother Sam died in a horrible accident on the freeway. It was one of the biggest accidents in our state. My only comfort is that he died immediately. The police said he most likely had no idea anything was happening around him. Anyway, before he died, Sam was a huge social media user, mostly on Instagram and Snapchat. I never followed him on Snapchat, but I followed him on Instagram. He made thousands of posts about his life, friends, family, music. He was an amazing singer. After he died, I would go to his account and just scan through his account. I mostly watched a few videos he made where he does a dialogue for ESL speakers. He taught English to ESL students for extra money. I'd often pretend that he was speaking to me. I know it's not healthy to listen to my dead brother's voice every day, but it just became a habit. A few weeks ago, my boyfriend had been urging me to break free from this. He told me that I need to move on. I did start. I would only watch one video, or even not use my phone until right before I went to bed. Last night, I went to check my brother's account and saw that it was gone. I was upset. I texted my sister and she said that she could still see his account. My boyfriend told me that he blocked my brother on my account. I was annoyed but simply thought I could just go back to following him. But my brother's account was private and our family couldn't access his account years ago. The reason why he blocked him is because he thought I was in love with my brother and even accused me of being once intimate with him. My brother. I wanted to vomit. He's my twin. We spent every single day together. Even when we grew up, we went to the same university. At the time of my brother's accident, we were roommates. I love my brother, but not in a sick way. My boyfriend never met my brother. He and I only started dating 2 years ago. But after this, I don't know if I can or should continue this relationship. My boyfriend keeps saying that I should move on, that what he did wasn't a big deal, but it was to me. Our mutual friends agree that I should just forgive and forget, but I feel like I'm grieving again. What the hell? So not only has he gone onto your phone, gone onto your account, and deliberately cut you out of these memories that mean a lot to you of your twin brother, he then accuses you of having romantic or sexual feelings for your twin brother to justify his own controlling behavior. There is no coming back from that. Why would you want to be with someone who does that in the first place? And even after all this anyway, he showed no remorse when you confronted him about it. And for me anyway, Opie was saying that maybe it's unhealthy, but I don't think listening to your dead brother's voice is unhealthy. The first thing that immediately popped into my head is listening to certain songs that my parents used to love listening to remind me of them and the memories that we used to have. It's just another way of grieving, in my opinion. But a commenter says to OP, your boyfriend just decided for you that blocking your late brother's account was the magical solution to your grief. That's not how it works. Grief isn't a switch you can just flip, especially when it's someone as close as your twin. You finding comfort in watching those videos is totally normal, and nobody gets to take that away from you. But then he takes it even further, accusing you of being in love with your brother. Dude, what? That's not just out of line. That's a whole different zip code of messed up. Grief is one thing, but him jumping to those accusations? Yeah, no. Look, you've been taking steps at your own pace, and that's how it should be. He doesn't get to dictate how you handle your loss. Honestly, it's not about forgive and forget, it's about respect, and he clearly bulldozed that boundary. You're feeling like you're grieving again because, in a way, you are. He took away your way of connecting with your brother. Also, your friend saying just let it go, that's a hard pass. You deserve better than someone who not only doesn't get your grief, but makes it worse. Opie says he told me he was just joking when he said that. It was not funny. This happened yesterday and I'm still very upset and I don't see myself ever forgiving him. He tried tickling me this morning to make me laugh. I'm just so hurt. Another commenter says, yeah, if someone did that to me, they'd be kicking rocks all the way home. Never let someone control your phone, social media, or anything else personal like that. They have no need, no matter what excuse they give. Your boyfriend is a fucking controlling tool who needs to be binned with other useless tools. Opie says he did it when I was in the shower. He knows my passcode because there is an app on my phone to open the door to our apartment. He has never gone through my phone before. I didn't think twice about leaving it with him. Beautiful says, Jesus, get out. Opie says, I have to. I honestly don't see myself forgiving him. My sister is allowing me to use her account so the pictures aren't gone. But still, why would he do this? Sunkiss says, okay, but also your boyfriend is jealous of your dead brother. I'm sorry to put it so crudely. It's time to wake up. No Commission says to OP, absolutely heartbreaking to read. Is there a way for you to get access back to the account? You can grieve and remember and cherish your brother at your own rate. You do not need his permission or help. Thank you very much. Please dump this sack of shit. I'm not a fan of Redditors always going to this conclusion, but this is outrageous and your friends are losers. Get a new group of friends and a new boyfriend, or spend some time alone living your life the way you want, which I'm sure your brother would have loved for you. He has shown you who he is. Don't doubt it. OP says, as of today, I haven't figured it out. He never set up a legacy thing. We tried to get access a few years ago, but Insta didn't help much. My sister told me that I can use her account. She's not a big Instagram user, so she said I could log in whenever I wanted. Also, my brother and I used to Instagram to chat for years. Hope that if we can figure out a way to log in, I can keep those messages. Commenter says, screen record videos you like best and keep them in photos folder somewhere else. So just in case anything like this happens, or if his account gets deleted eventually, you'll still have them forever. OP added a small update in the comments, laughing, and says, as of today, he's out of my house. I told him I needed time to think. I removed his access into the complex and my apartment. I've calmed down, but I'm not going to forgive him. Not with this. Educational says here, come back and try to act sweet. Don't forgive this bag of shit. He doesn't have feelings for anyone but himself. OP says he has already tried. He sent me a message through a friend that he's going to give me a few days to calm down and that I'm being ridiculous. So it was 3 days after that OP did come in with an update and says, I kicked him out. I gave it a few days for me to calm down, but this was just a breach in trust. He still thinks I'm overreacting, and I've also cut ties with our mutual friends. They were mostly his friends. This incident made me realize I need to spend more time with my family. I've been chatting more with my sister. After Sam's death, I was a bit cold towards her, but she helped me a lot these past couple of days. Also, thanks to some amazing people on here, we're able to get into Sam's account. I'm now the owner of it. Thank you all. And lastly, Sam, I miss you every single day. Just good on for OP once again for absolutely just saying, nah, I'm done with this shit. I couldn't see any other way around it, to be honest. How would you forgive something like that? The accusations, the removal from the account in the first place, the controlling behavior, followed by the accusations, is just absolutely wild. And when OP came in with the comments in the middle of the update there, and he sent a message through a friend, said that he's going to give me a few days to calm down and that I'm being ridiculous. I mean, what a fucking donut, right? But what do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And let's have another story. Now our next story comes from Narrow Opposite 5737, and it says, am I the arsehole here for straight up telling my boyfriend that I'm breaking up with him because he doesn't want to cook for himself? So I, 27 female, was talking with my boyfriend, 31 male, and he said that every night he doesn't want to have to cook after his long day at work, so therefore we'll be eating at his mum's every night. He also works from home. That he's not hanging out with me. He's moving into his house soon. While I can understand and appreciate that it sucks to cook for yourself, it feels extremely unattractive to have someone say that they don't want to cook for themselves, especially after spending a decade cooking for myself every meal, every day. I work 12-hour shifts, and I just think, how would this be if we were together long term? Would I be doing all the cooking? I guess that's a deal breaker. I like cooking for my partner, but it sort of seems like it's not something that he's ever going to do, maybe. The question is, would I be the arsehole if I break up with him over text and tell him why honestly when I do? Or is it less than arsehole-ish to say it's me, not him? For context, I'm his first girlfriend. Edit, am I the arsehole if I tell him it physically repulsed me when he said it? Edit 2, for anyone asking how long we've been together. We've been dating about a month, talking and seeing each other for 4 months. He was a virgin, and I'm taking this breakup thing seriously because I feel horrible breaking his heart, but I'm also thoroughly disgusted. Edit 3, He's a work-from-home accountant. I commute an hour and work as a nurse in a very physically and emotionally demanding field. I expect my partner to pick up the slack when I'm exhausted, as I would do for him. When he said this to me, it was like a bomb being dropped on me. Every excuse I made for him just sort of shattered. I can't even muster up the force to text him back because I'm so repulsed. But I have 3 night shifts coming up, so I guess I'll just pretend for now. Within the same post, Opie added the first update and says, I don't know Reddit rules, but I said this to someone who was saying I was cruel and I really want to share this. I like this man. I was falling in love with him. I posted on Reddit because I care. The fact that a 31-year-old man has no interest in cooking for himself physically repulses me. Maybe because of past relationships, maybe because there are other underlying things that are adding up. I'm not sure right now. All I know is that when I entered the relationship, I thought I saw a mature, intelligent young man who was ready to start a life with a person who he found equally appealing. Now, I see a spoiled man-child who will have me cooking and cleaning for the rest of my life because he had such a long day at work. There is a woman who is prepared to do every single bit of the emotional, sexual, physical labor that is involved with rearing children, running a family, teaching someone how to love. I need a partner, not a child. Partners share the burden of life's tasks. When I am down, I need a partner to lift me up and vice versa. So most of these comments are correct. It is a huge red flag and I'm better off focusing on taking care of myself and maybe purchasing my mum and stepdad's home so they can finally retire and my brother and his partner have a stable living situation. Regrettably, I do think it was a mistake posting this. I appreciate the comments from everyone, but no one told me what I wanted to hear because the comments aren't from him. Ultimately, what I wanted to hear from him is that he would try, and that's not what he told me today when I called. I'm a nasty woman in his world, as much as that hurts me. I've known for a while that I need to learn to let go and leave. This was just an exercise in that. If I hurt your feelings in the comments, I'm sorry. I'm just heartbroken. So on the back of this, someone asked, does the boyfriend know how to cook? Opie says he knows how to cook. He told me he does sometimes at home and even made donuts and other random things during COVID. He knows how, he just doesn't want to do it, I guess. What's really going on? I guess he just expects me to cook for him and do the traditional woman's role. Commenter says, info. Does he cook when he hangs out with you? Does he know how to cook? Have you been invited to meet mum and see their dynamic? It's definitely worth having a convo about. Opie says he invited me for lunch for pancakes one day, which felt odd. I couldn't go because he asked me the night before and I had plans. He told me he has made donuts, stir fry, soup, banana bread. He isn't incapable from what he says. His mum was the matriarch, 100%. He was silent the entire time. His dad and sister seemed happy-go-lucky. I could tell mum was judging me, but not that there was anger, just curious and maybe a slight judgmental air. It wasn't a long interaction though, an hour tops. I must have glossed over the ages at the start of this because when it got to a bit later on, Opie said this 31-year-old man, and I was like, oh yeah, shit. His dinner plan is mum's house every night. I mean, what the hell? And I think it's absolutely right for Opie to take a step back in this situation, but gee whiz, at 31, this man needs a wake-up call. Because moving into your own house while still relying on your mum for basic daily needs is just like, it's not living independently, is it? It's just sleeping somewhere else. But Opie did come in with an update on this one and says, so I like this man a lot, but ultimately didn't see anything long term and I broke up with him today. He basically said okay, and I said I wanted to tell him why. He said no. I said that's kind of something a man that cycles through women / doesn't have long-term relationships would say. Not a man who's never had a girlfriend and is breaking up with his first one would say. So I proceeded to tell him what he said and what it meant to me when he said it. This man proceeded to gaslight me into believing that he never said it and that he was just innocent and that I'm just trying to be cruel to him. He then said that he didn't intend on being more independent, which basically contradicts the gaslighting. So I blocked him and that's the update. My feelings are hurt and my mind is spinning. Hopefully to find peace again soon. My bloody word again. I couldn't see that one ending any other way really. And I think it was a good thing for Opie to try and explain why, especially being like the first girlfriend, even though, you know, he's a man, 31, etc. I think it was a good thing for OP to try and explain to him what the issue is, so hopefully he can work on it, but clearly he doesn't give a shit. The fact that he just turned around and said, nah, don't want to hear that. I literally smacked my own forehead at that moment. I was like, oh my word, really? But what do you guys make of this situation? It doesn't bode well for that guy, does it? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, just a huge thank you for being here today, getting involved in the stories, hitting that hype button. That's for the people on mobile, by the way. Super helpful to the channel, and just for being here in general, spending your time here. You know, that's absolutely amazing, and I'm grateful every single day. So just a thank you again, and hopefully I will see you in the next one. Take care and much love.